In this video, I'm going to share with you 6 tips for you to find the best fonts in Canva. And if you stick until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to save these fonts or to favorite these fonts in Canva so that you can easily find them for future designs or future Canva projects. Let's go. Hey, what is up everyone? Ronnie here. Welcome back to our channel. I am super happy to be with you today to learn about fonts and more particularly to learn how to unearth these best fonts from the Canva font library. There are so many fonts, so this video is really about showing you how to surface the best ones. And at the end of the video, I will show you a trick that will allow you to save these fonts so that the next time you use Canva, they will all be here at your disposal for you to use in your current projects. All right, so without further ado, let's just jump into the first tip on how to find the best fonts. My first tip is to dig into the new fonts that were recently added by Canva after they struck their partnership with the Forge Foundry Monotype. This partnership was announced at Canva Create, so back in March of 2023. And the result of this partnership is that Canva will be adding, or has already added by now, more than 1,100 new fonts that belonged to the Monotype collection. All right, so this blog post right here found on the Canva website gives us the TLDR of this agreement, this partnership. And I believe this partnership is a really good news for us Canva users and also typography lovers, because it means 1, more choice, more font choices, but 2, access to some very, I would say, classic OG fonts that were in the Monotype library. And if you take the time to read this article, you will see some of these names, some of these all-time favorite fonts like Arial, Avenir, Courier, Helvetica, Times New Roman. So these are kind of like established, well-known fonts that have been seen pretty much everywhere. And the fact that you can now have access to them via Canva, which is where you love designing all sorts of designs, is a really good news. Now, one thing you should know is that not all of the fonts from this partnership will be available to free users. Some will be the privilege of Canva Pro users, but still a good amount of these fonts, of the 1,100 fonts, and I don't have the breakdown, I don't know how many are free versus pro, but there are a lot of free Monotypes fonts as well. So let's come back to our presentation right here, and on this slide, I tried to gather all of the available information I could find about this partnership, because unfortunately there is no way of searching Canva for the Monotypes fonts. So if you type Monotype, it's not gonna render any results. So what I did here is that I read as many blog articles as possible about this partnership between Monotype and Canva and try to see if I could spot font names that were part of this agreement. And this is what I could figure out. Out of the 1,100 fonts, 23 have been mentioned in the 10 or so blog posts that I read for you guys in order to figure out which were the new fonts. So yeah, this is the best I could do. If any of you has their hand on the complete list, I mean, by all means, let us know in the comment section where we could check this list, because I would love to see the entire font collection that was added. I don't think this information has been made public, hence the research I've done and hence this slide right here. So what I would recommend here is that you screenshot this slide and yeah, try to look for these fonts the next time you are using Canva. So that was my first tip for you to find the hottest and newest font in Canva, is to try to figure out which ones are part of the partnership with Monotype. Now let's move on to my second tip. My second tip is to look into the pre-made set combos, the font combinations that exist under the text tab. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to be using a blank presentation right here, and the first thing we'll do is to jump over the text tab right here in the object panel of the Canva editor. So I'm going to click on that text tab right here, and this is what I will see. I will see my brand kit fonts. If you are a Canva Pro user, you would have the fonts that you already preset there. So that's one thing. And then if you scroll down a bit, you should see a section called recently used. Okay, you can click on see all to see all of your recently used fonts. But then if you continue to scroll, you should see font combinations. So these are the font combinations I was mentioning. This is my tip number 2, because these are combos that Canva made for you, or designers working for Canva have pre-set for you. And the best ones are not the first one you see there. And the first one are mostly pro user only. As you can see, this little crown right here. If you continue to scroll down, you start seeing stuff like this one right here, which is free. You see there's no crown, so I'm gonna click on it, and then you continue to scroll, and then you see more of these black and white, I would say, font combo. You see this one right here, this one right here, just creating pages and adding, just by clicking on them, a bunch of these font combinations. So if you pay attention to this object panel right here, this column right here, you will notice that there are two types of font combinations. You'll have the color ones, which are mostly paid ones, like this one, like Be Brave or Stay Fearless. These have the crown, so it means only pro users can use them. And these will often use text effects and stuff like that. But then you will find the black and white ones, these ones that I have been adding to the pages, that are completely free. So these are my tip number 2, like focus on finding all of these font combinations that are free, add them to different slides to your design, and then have a look, like have a closer look. So I'm gonna add 1 or 2 more. For example, this one right here, this one looks good as well. Then one last one, I'm gonna go for, let's say, this one. So once you have selected them all, like if you keep going, you will see you have a good amount of them. Like I'm not sure how many, but there is a large collection of font combination. I would say close to 50. So these are hidden gems in the Canva library. They are right there. They're free to use, and they have been made by Canva designers. So if we take a closer look at the first one right here, we see that this is made out of 2 different fonts. You can ungroup them. If I click on the first one, I see this is League Spartan, and the second one right here is Sanchez. So these fonts look really good together, in my opinion. So from here, what you can do is to, 1, just remember this font combo, write it down somewhere, or just keep this slide as it is. Or 2, you can just start swapping the text for your very own text right here. So here, instead of cold, smooth, and tasty, we could say something like, I don't know, like cheap but good. Okay, cheap but good. All right, I don't know, that could be your slogan. And then Angelo Brewing, it could be the name of your product. Let's say the Canva Master Course. Okay, cheap but good. And from here, you could add any type of visual that you like. For example, if you want to add an emoji, I could simply click here, delete the dot, and maybe go open my emojis. I will type for OK. And yeah, I will find this emoji right here. Could keep the dot, maybe get rid of the space here. Cheap but good. Okay. And now you have a nice kind of like typography type of post. It does the job. So I just showed you the way of doing this. Just open a blank presentation, create a bunch of different slides in that presentation, and just add one of the font combination on each slide. And then look at them, see which ones are your favorite, maybe delete the ones that you don't like, and you will end up with 20 to 25 font combinations that look good. All right, time to move on to the 3rd tip on how to surface the best fonts in Canva. The 3rd tip is about using the font sets that are already made for you by Canva under the Design tab. So this time, I'm gonna head over to the Design tab, which is the first time right here on top of the Object panel. So let's click on Design, and then from here, you should see 3 different tabs right here: Templates, Layout, and Styles. I want you to click on Styles. So let's do that. And then you should see different things. You should see, if you are a pro user, you should see your brand kit styles right here on top of everything. So this should include your brand fonts and your brand colors. If you keep scrolling, then you will see some color combinations, some color palettes, suggestions, and then right here, and this is my tip number 3, the font sets. So these font sets are another gold mine of ideas on how to pair fonts together. So I'm gonna click on See All and see everything that Canva has in store for me right here. So what I recommend you to do is to simply continue to add blank slides to your typography presentation right here, and click on the tiles, click on the font sets right here that has been made for you. So this one has 3 different text boxes, and if we click on the first one, we see this is chunk 5. Then we have collective, and then we have collective in a smaller size. So this is not only good for understanding the font combination, meaning what is the name of the type font that they have been using, Collective and Chunk 5, but also the ratio, like the size difference between each of the heading, subheading, and body to make the biggest impact in your visual communication. So that is as important, in my opinion, as the choice of font per se. All right, so this is a way to do it. So let's continue creating a bit more, just adding slides and clicking on the ones that I like. I'm not gonna open them all. I'm gonna be a little bit more selective right here. I like this one. Let's click on create another slide. Oh, this one is nice with pop-in. Okay, so you see here. And let's choose another one with something a little bit more classy, like this one right here. I'm gonna click on that, and there you go. So again, once you have selected the font sets that you like under all of these sets, you can come back to them, analyze them, and change the words if you want, or just start playing around with them. But this, in my opinion, gives you, for someone who doesn't know anything about fonts, a really good starting point for you to start pairing your fonts together. So yeah, one more time, let me show you where to find them. By simply going back here, you need to click on the Design tab. Once you're here, make sure you are on the Styles tab and scroll down to this section right here called Font Sets. Then once you're here, click on See All, and you should see all of the different font sets. All right, guys, I hope you are learning something new with me today about font pairing. If you do, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button right here below the video. You know how it goes. This is how YouTubers make a living. So yeah, smash the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I would encourage you to do so, because we talk about a lot of useful things on how to use AI tools, how to use Canva properly. You have videos from me, but also from Diana, the whole shebang. There's a ton of value on this channel, and a lot of you guys know us already, so thank you for watching us. Thank you for being faithful to this channel. We truly appreciate your support. Now, back to the tutorial. Let's see 2 more tips on how to find this cool font combination. At the end, as promised, I will have this hack on how to save your favorite fonts so that you can easily use them the next time you use Canva. All right, tip number 4 is to use the popular font suggestions that Canva has for you when you use the font button. So let me show you where you can find that and how it works. So let's say I create a new slide in my presentation, click on my T key on my keyboard to create a text box. So that's where you start. You need a text box. Next, you need to select this text box, locate the font box right here with the name of the font, click on it, and then you will see a list of different fonts right here on the left-hand side. So what I want you to do is to scroll down past different sections until you see this section right here. It says popular font, and it has kind of like a little arrow going up like so. So these are fonts that are popular right now in Canva. So you might want to check them out. Canva will recommend a mix of free and premium fonts. So it's not all pro fonts. It's just a mix of both. And I think they are worth checking. And you will see that this list is pretty exhaustive as well. Like there's a lot of fonts here. I don't know how many, but I would say a good 50 plus, maybe 60 plus fonts here of fonts that are popular in Canva. Okay, so it goes all the way here. They are organized by alphabetical order. So that's also interesting to know. For example, this one looks really good, maybe with a little bit more spacing in between my letters. So how do you add spacing? With the text box selected, locate this little icon right here that says spacing. And we can see here it's a little bit under, I would say, the default, which should be here. So you can bring it back to 0. And this is like the normal spacing between your letters. My original text box was a bit smooshed. So you can see how they look. I would recommend you pay attention to this, the letter spacing. So the popular font section right here is also a very good place to discover and use some hot and fresh fonts in Canva. Now, let's move on to tip number 5. My tip number 5 is to use the font category tags under the same font menu right here. So I'm gonna stay here with my text box selected. So once you're here and you see all of your fonts listed right here on the left side menu, is to click in that search box. Okay, click on the font search box right here. This will make these words, these tags, appear right underneath the search box. Okay, so these are tags, or tags that define a category category, a style of fonts, okay? So the first one is handwriting, then you have corporate, then you have display. If you use the little arrows, you can see more of these tags. And once you click on one, for example, let's say I want to click on bold right here. Let's click on it, and Canva will now feature a bunch of bold type of fonts. All right, so these are super useful. Okay, let's come back, click in the search box again and see another keyword, another tag, for example, cool. Let's click on cool fonts, and Canva will give you a bunch of different cool fonts, like this one right here, railway heavy, one of my favorites. Let's try this one. This one is a cool, like handwritten font. Code is really cool. So you have these keywords, let's clear it, that Canva has created for you, these categories that are nicely organized, and Canva recently added a bunch of more keywords. It seems to me that they had less in the past, and now after Canva Create, I believe, there's just so many more. I wish we had a monotype tag that would just list the 1100 fonts that were added after the partnership between Canva and Monotype. So Canva, if you're watching this tutorial, please make a tag with monotype so we can find all of these fonts and don't have to read like a bunch of different blog posts. I would appreciate that. But jokes apart, like these tags are really useful. And there are a bunch of them. I haven't counted them. And at the end of this list, you have your different fonts for different, I would say, alphabet and languages. You have your Cyrillic, Japanese, Chinese, simplified, Chinese, traditional, Devanagari, Hangul. So these are font families for non-English languages. So if you are in one of these countries using these types of font, this could be very useful for you to sort the font in the Canva library in this manner. I know a lot of you guys are watching this tutorial from India, for example, so a good way to start looking for fonts that would go well with the Hindi or the languages spoken in India would be to search for the category Devanagari. Okay, so these are a bunch of different fonts that would be popular, that would be very legible when you type your words in Hindi, for example. And I've also seen a lot of our friends who write in Arabic asking me, where can I find more Arabic fonts? Well, there is no Arabic tag for the moment, but what you can try is simply try to type Arabic right here in the font box, and you should see some results. So Childless Arabic, Mandani Arabic. Me, by all means, I do not speak or know write Arabic, so I could not try this. I don't even know how to do it on my keyboard. But these fonts that I generated by typing the keyword Arabic have the Arabic word in their font name. So we could reasonably believe that these fonts would look good when used with Arabic words. All right, this leaves me to the sixth and final tip that I have for you to surface great fonts in Canva. And for this one, we are going to be leaving the Canva editor, all right? We are going to go back to the home page by clicking on the home button, because this last tip consists of looking for fonts inside the Canva templates, all right? The templates that are already made for you, they are using all sorts of typography, and some of them use very cool font combinations that could inspire us. So let's tap into that. All right, so to get there, we need to head over the templates library. So from the home page, just locate the templates button right here, click on it, and then you need to start searching, obviously. So the way I would proceed from here is to simply use the search box for searching for templates and to type the word typography. Okay, typography. I'm not hitting enter yet, not running my search yet. I'm just letting Canva complete my sentence. Okay, so without launching the search, it will auto-populate the rest of the search here. So I see typography shirts, typography logo, typography quote, typography book covers. All right, so these are all good stuff. So I would go for typography logo, and this should show me a bunch of logo designs using typography work. All right, so this is a really cool place to start looking for font combination. So for example, this one right here, if I like it, I can click on it to open it. Sometimes it will show you the fonts and the color palette used in a specific template. This is not the case here, so I could just click on customize this template. It will open the template for me. Now I see what these text boxes are. The first one right here is Gyaza Stencil, and the second one right here is Glacial Indifference. So I see that these two fonts look quite good together. So that would be one way of searching for them. If I come back to my typography logo result page right here, I could continue simply having a look at all of these results. I like this one as well. So I can click here. It will show me what the logo is all about, dialogue, agency. So these two go well together. So you get the point, like you can really identify the things that work well for you and just open the template, see what the typography is all about. Now, instead of typography logo, you could try something else like typography quote. This is another great place to find inspiration for your font combination. Be aware though that some of these designs will not be font. For example, this one, I'm pretty sure these are not two different fonts. These are images that have been created, like the font combination have been created in another software or found somewhere as an image and inserted into the template. So you will not be able to change the words on templates like this one. So be aware that these exist as well in the template library. Like this one, for example, let me show you. If I open this design, if I open this template, not all the fonts, see if I click here, this is not a text box, this is an image. So don't be surprised to find things like that. Maybe you think, oh, what a great font, let's use, no, you cannot use this one as a font. This one is a font, Sergio Trendy. So yeah, it's just to warn you about this. So there you go, guys, 6 different ways to surface hot and fresh fonts in the Canva library. And we all have our favorite fonts, the fonts that we love working with. And I know for a fact that some of you would love to save or to favorite the font that they use in Canva so that they can easily access them. Because at the end of the day, we can favorite a whole bunch of different things in Canva. We could favorite templates. If I like this template right here, I could click on the 3 little dots and I could star this template to be added to my starred folder. Similarly, if you are under the Elements tab, you like this frame right here, you can star this frame. You can star photos, you can star videos, you can star everything, but not fonts. All right, so if you go to your text and if you like a font combo, you cannot star it. If you go to your text box right here, you want to change the font to something else, you cannot star it. So how could we save all of the fonts that we like so that we can use that in an easy way in Canva? All right, so because I like you, and because you've stayed until the end of this video, I'm gonna give you my hack on how to favorite fonts in Canva. So remember this document? Let me show you. These are all the different fonts I have been showing you throughout this tutorial. Okay, let's say I want to keep some of them I didn't like so much. So let me come back to my slide. Let's say all of these are my favorite fonts, okay? So what I could do is to simply have them all on one page, like I do here. And it doesn't matter if they're small or big. So if you have a lot, you can make that list very small. It doesn't matter if you can read them correctly or not. I would probably have them at a reasonable size. And I doubt that you will have more than, I don't know, maybe 20 favorite fonts. So this should work just fine. Then you can delete all of the other pages on your document. Okay, boom, gone. And you can rename that. Okay, so this could be my favorite fonts. My favorite fonts. Okay, enter to save that. And now you have a document with your favorite fonts. Okay, let's say these 23 are your absolute favorite fonts. And that's it. The next time you will work on a Canva document, this is how you would do. Go back to your homepage, create a new document. Let's say you want to create an Instagram post, so social media, Instagram post, create a text box. Okay, I want to use one of my favorite fonts. So how do I do this? Well, easy. Go to your project, find your favorite fonts right here, add that, page 1, to your document. So add a new page. There you go. Now you have added that page at the end of your project. Now you can click on your text box, go to your fonts, and you should see under the document fonts all of these favorite fonts that are right here on the last page. Let's pick one randomly. Let's say Gotham. Okay, let's see if it's there. Click on your text box, click on your text box right here, and try to find Gotham under your document fonts. There you go. Gotham is right here. This is my hack on how to favorite your font in Canva. Now I know this is a hack, this is not a star, this is not a favorite, but it works. So there you go. I hope you like my hacky ways of hacking Canva to get to where you want to land. All right, I'm gonna leave it here for today. Thank you for watching until the end. For those of you who want to support the channel, we received this question, how can we support you guys? Well, we have created a membership. You should find it via the join button underneath the video. There should be a little bit of explanation of how it works, what you get, etc., etc. So that is our brand new membership. So feel free to check it out if you want to support our work. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys with this tutorial right here that I think you should watch next.